What is up, everyone? Dirty Mike here with Cobbs Creek Beef with 4th and 26 Philly Sports, celebrating an enormous Game 1 victory tonight over the Marlins, 4-1. Wheeler pitched a magnificent game. The bullpen held strong, and they ended up finishing off the game. It's a real team win. Foods, what do you think tonight? What did you think?
This was all around a great win. I would like to see a little bit more offense in the beginning, and again, still keeping too many runners, like allowing too many runners stranded. I think that's going to bite them in the ass if they carry that on to into another series. But they were able to clean up. They never, they were never really in any peril tonight. I don't think. They pulled Wheeler at the correct time. I think it was exactly 100 pitches. I don't know if that
Right.
stats up currently.
It was
But
100 pitches.
yeah,
Six and
perfect
two
timing.
thirds inning, 5 hits, 1 run, earned run, 8 strikeouts. So,
Right, that's
I
that's
mean,
huge.
that's exactly what you want out of your ace on the first playoff start. You want to go deep into the game where you're not, having to use the bullpen from the 4th inning, because once the postseason starts, there's a lot more pressure to use your bullpen, and just starters just don't last as long.
And the Marlins were hanging in there. Bell was killing us with these doubles. I mean, that's a big boy trucking his way around those plates, boy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but we got out of any danger aside from that 1 run in the 7th inning. And Bryce Harper, how do you feel about blowing through the stop sign at third base there?
Yeah, I don't know what I think it's Dusty on the third base coach, Dusty
Yeah.
Worth, and he wasn't looking. He didn't have his sharpest game tonight, Foods. He didn't send Schwarber in the first. He tried to throw the stop sign up for Bryce, but you knew
He
he
wasn't
wasn't.
having it. Bryce
Once
wasn't
that
having it.
helmet came off, dude, he was going right through that sucker.
If you notice, he looked back and he saw it was just getting picked up in the corner, and that's when the helmet just went flying.
Yeah, and let's say we're getting with some great defense tonight from Bohm. Looking great at the corner, man. He actually did. He held up a couple times with those 2 outs across the diamond throws. So let's give him some love. Kimbrel looking good. Like finally able to put away some people. I know he was a touch shaky, but again, I don't
That's all
think
right.
he
They
was in
just
any
gave
real
up 1
trouble.
hit.
Yeah,
It's
in any
okay.
real trouble. I think he did fine. Real Muto's looking good behind the plate. He called a good game. Let's see, Castellanos. Even though he got what happened? He got thrown out home, right? I think he was trying to
Yes, he
come
did
home.
get thrown
Yeah,
out at home. This was a total team win tonight.
yeah.
11 hits, but every starter, all 9, had at least one hit, and Castellanos and Turner had 2. So, I mean, you want to talk about a complete team effort. 10 hits, all 9 players getting one. I'm sorry, 11 hits, all 9 players getting at least one. I mean, that's a team effort, Foods.
And I have to say today, it was nice to see the umping was looking great. It was a little shaky around those later innings, but it was finally nice to see some consistent calls. I would say that about 90% of the calls were pretty much dead on. And I want to see that. I don't want to see anything involving umpires, being involved beyond the scope of the game, which is balls, strikes, outs, things like that. I don't want to see anybody getting thrown out. I don't want to see anybody doing any throwing out. You know what I'm saying? So that was good. It was nice to see them play. And as I see, yeah, you're scrolling down, looking down.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that they were keeping. I think that especially Wheeler was keep a beautiful gem, keeping the hitters really on their toes today. I mean,
Yeah, he
like
had
I
that
said, him and
bite.
Real Muto, they worked out a perfect. I don't say perfect game, obviously, but
Yeah,
it
he
worked out a
had a
great
lot of
game.
bite. He had a lot of bite on that sweeper tonight, and it was just cleaning up house. And he kept the thing that was good about the game tonight, especially on the offensive, it's important to get that first run, Foods, because then you can kind of maybe take a little bit of a gamble next time you get a couple people on base, and next thing you know, you could be up 2-3 runs, and kind of building on it what they did tonight. As you remember with last year's World Series team, we really became dependent on the long ball. I mean, if we weren't hitting home runs, we weren't getting hits. Obviously, a no-hitter in the World Series. This team, I feel like, is built a lot different to play that more small ball as well as the long ball.
And they can get your runs anywhere in the lineup. I like to
Right.
see how they're manufacturing in the bottom half of the lineup. That's really nice. Anybody who's going to get walked in the meat of the lineup, you're going to make them pay, food. That's how baseball fucking works, man.
Yeah, there's no weak spots in there. So I mean, it was a great team win and important to get that first win under the belt. And I like this wild card format of having all 3 games possible at the bank. So I like that format.
I agree 100%. I mean, it would make no sense to go. They're going to go play one game down there. They almost have to play one game up in New York. Remember, you saw that with the one inning. Yeah. That was so funny. Oh my God, baseball was so funny this weekend.
What would you say if they changed it to a neutral field? They put the players up in hotels, had like a nice neutral field where just like the press was there and stuff, but maybe you could sell tickets. I don't know, just a neutral field.
I don't think it would work. I'll tell you why. Because this plays out like a normal 3-game series. In any event,
right?
It's just a playoff game. That's really all it is. Because if they extend the series tomorrow, God forbid, knock on wood, then yeah, it's like a 3-game. Get the rubber match on Thursday, So it's like, you don't want to see that, but at least it would be here. However, I think tomorrow, Nola's going to get his shit together finally. Oh, nice, we're back on air. Okay, I see this. Yeah, I think he's going to get his shit together. I think Nola's going to, be able to, if they can keep Nola from having his little mini meltdowns in the middle third of the middle third of the inning of the game, those innings, then maybe he'll 4-2, 5-2, same kind of scores tonight. That's what I'm predicting.
All right, let's take a look at the pitching tonight and what we got out of everybody here. We obviously have Zach Wheeler leading the way here with 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, 100 pitches exactly. Alvarado gave up 1 hit in 1 inning with 2 Ks. Hoffman got an out, and Kimbrel came in for the save with 15 pitches for a nice, tidy 1-run, 7-hit game 1 win.
It was really nice, and it was nice to see the park full.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was. I barely saw, one Marlin uniform out or penny or jersey out in the fans. It was great.
Not at all. I like those Red October towels that they had too.
Yeah, they're sweet. I have an old white one from 15 years ago.
I used to have one too. I don't know if we got them together.
Yeah, those were great. I wish I had one. I should get one of those red ones. That'd be nice this season.
All right, I'm gonna tell you a true Phillies story.
So, all right, give it a go.
So when Lisa first moved up here, and I maybe I told you this, we went to. I took her. She's never been to a baseball game at all, so I took her to a Phillies game. She's like 6 months pregnant at this point. And, we got there early so we could go to batting practice. I wanted to try to catch some home runs, which obviously probably in hindsight wasn't a good idea to do. But not for that reason. So we get into the stadium and we start playing around trying to catch home runs. And I did get a batting practice ball. And probably about like 15 minutes into it, the ushers started going, everybody, come on, we got to come this way. So we get out into the hall, and they're ushering everybody outside. So, mind you, this is probably like an hour and a half before the game. It had just open for batting practice. They found a package in there that they thought looked suspicious. So they call in the bomb squad. No live foods. There has to be 200 cop cars, 4 helicopters, just big SWAT vans, everything. Full teams going on. Like going into the stadium. And Lisa's like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this normal like games? I'm like, no, this is crazy. So We find out about 45 minutes later, after all this, they're like, all right, everybody's okay to go back in. It turns out earlier in the day, the Philly fanatic had left some of his hot dogs that he wraps in the aluminum foil that he shoots off into cannons. He left like a big cluster of them, like in a corner. So it looked like a kind of like a cluster bomb of aluminum. And
Oh my God.
it was just the hot dogs foods.
I bet you the drug sniffing dogs are probably going wild anyway.
Yeah, as soon as they go over to them, they're just starting chomping into them. They're like, "What the fuck happened to them?"
that would be hilarious. Oh my God!
I feel like that's a pretty like intimate and like unique Phillies experience.
Yeah, that's funny as shit. Oh my God, that you don't really see it. That I mean, you might see a blimp at a major league game, but you don't see 4 helicopters.
Holy shit, dude. I mean, news started showing up. Like everyone, executives, like people wearing suits, like everybody from the whole like complex in there. And oh my God. It was just it was crazy. She was like, "Are you sure it's okay to go back in?" I'm like, no, this doesn't happen. Yeah.
This is just another, man. This is another good reason why we didn't play in Florida and we're up here. You know what I mean? I know that I think the Marlins had the tiebreaker against us had they had the same record, but obviously we had a better record. So luckily we're here. Thank God.
Yeah, so we look forward to game 2 tomorrow with Aaron Nola taking the bump. Obviously this has been an up and down year for him. I'm hearing some things that they changed up a few things in the last, couple starts. Worked a little bit better, but, we hope that we can rely on his postseason experience, which he does have. That is invaluable. This team has been there, being to a World Series last year. And, I fully expect them to just show up to the ballpark with their lunch pails and just take care of business tomorrow and finish the series.
I agree. I didn't see who was. Did you get to see it? Who's throwing for Miami tomorrow or Florida or whatever you want to call themselves? I wasn't sure who was throwing tomorrow, who was starting. So I didn't get to see that before I left. I was watching over at my brother's house. I didn't actually listen to the radio today, 4th and 26. I actually watched the game.
I mean, Jesus, that's the big one. I know the radio is great, but you do got to watch them.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. In fact, I watched. I was able to watch a lot of the Birds game too. If you want to talk about, I don't know how much you want to talk about the Birds game. I mean, it was nice, nice to see them win. Beautiful, overtime win. But same thing, I was able to watch that one too. But I like to listen on the radio. But did you see who was pitching tomorrow? By the way,
yeah, we got Aaron Nola and Braxton Garrett.
Yeah, okay.
9-7 with a 3.66 ERA this season.
That's nothing to. I wouldn't say that's going to blow your hair back, but
I'll tell you what. The Marlins aren't there yet. Obviously, the Phillies are the dominant team, and they're the better team and more experienced team at this point. The Marlins, I think, we're just kind of happy to get there, and I think. What did the Macho Man say, Foods? The cream. What does the cream always do?
Oh, yeah.
The cream rises to the top. The cream always rises to the top. And I think the Phillies postseason experience is going to carry them through tomorrow to finish up this series and get an extra day off and, get ready for the Braves.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go down there. It's a 3 out of 5. We figured that, done that, and 4 out of 7 when we get to the championship. But let's not look too far ahead, Foods.
let's not look too far ahead. We have to finish this game off tomorrow and just bring the same mentality and hope that we get the same quality starting pitching. I mean, that's really what it is. If your pitcher's going to keep you in there, only giving up a run or two in 6-7 innings, you could be a little more aggressive on offense and, take those chances.
Exactly. And I don't want to see too many people left on base. You got to manufacture runs. I don't care how you get them across. It was nice to see Trey steal 2 or 3 bags
Yes,
today.
he stole
That
2
was
tonight. Again,
yeah.
successful, up to 32 in a row this season, counting the regular season. And he may be the most lethal stolen base, runner. I know Acuna is, amazing.
Mhm.
But, Trey Turner, he picks his spots there. And, if he could be 95% successful, stealing 30, 40 bases a year, I mean, that's amazing.
Especially in the playoffs, because that's going to put a lot of pressure on
Mhm.
opposing pitchers. You'll see a lot of wild pitches, balks. It was so funny to see Kimbrel throw that little. Did you see him drop the ball for the balk today?
Well, do you know the reason that he did it?
It was a pitch clock, right?
No. What it
Oh, I
was,
thought they said the pitch clock was the reason he did it.
no, what he was is he wasn't using the communicator with Real Muto.
Oh,
So
okay.
with somebody at second base with
Right,
hand
right.
signals, they can, signal the
Yeah.
batter and
That,
stuff. So he balked to move him over to third so they couldn't do it. So he could just focus on them. And, with Harper getting that extra run in the bottom of the eighth inning, that afforded them the ability to, not worry about that runner.
See, I thought the way he lined him up, because you can see when he got to third, Kimbrel was looking over there the whole time, and I'm thinking to myself, he must be trying to protect, how he's throwing his pitches. And I was funny because when he drops the ball, you're like, what the hell is he doing? Because obviously now that the playoffs, there's no zombie runners, nothing like that, but the
Yeah,
pitch clock still applies. So
right.
you're thinking to yourself, is he just trying to reset? Is he throw? Yeah, it's really strange. So that's
It was
fine.
it, it was a weird strategy
Yeah,
thing. It was
that's
just a
whatever,
weird
whatever,
scenario.
dude. Yeah,
So, it obviously worked, and getting that extra run in the eighth inning afforded that ability. If they were only up by 2, you wouldn't see that happening. You got to
yeah,
just
they would
focus.
play a little tighter. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to just focus on the batter at that point. But yeah, just an amazing win, and I really look for Nola to step it up and come out with his best stuff of the season tomorrow. I mean, he's in a contract year here. Yeah,
Yes,
if he would have came out and killed it this year, which I feel like all just Philadelphia sports players in their contract year, they always have their best year, so we got to overpay for them. We obviously learned from Miles Sanders and move on from him. But I really expected Nola to have one of those seasons this year, on a contract year, and he's hurt his stock tremendously, and
I'll
his
tell you
leverage and
what.
negotiating ability.
Well, he can rebuild it all right now, starting tomorrow.
Right, he can. He can go from dud to stud this postseason with turning in start after start. This is it. This is the time where you come with your best stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, let's see it. 4th and 26. Watch it tomorrow. We'll be there 8 o'clock. I know I got to work, but I'll start on the radio and then we'll move to the video to TV.
All right, that sounds good. But yeah, we could talk about the Birds a little bit, while we're here, and finish it up. Anything strike you that you want to cover this week?
Well, I'll tell you, watching that game on
Now,
Sunday.
now that you've had a little time to
Yeah,
digest the juices.
dude, and they're palpable. Those juices were quite, they were delicious, but once you get them through the colon, you're going to be feeling it in a couple days. So I will say one thing: every time we play Washington, it's always going to be scrappy from here on in, guys.
It
4th and 26, just strap in because it'll probably look like that each time. And we got them again in like 3 or 4 weeks. It's not like we don't play them
Yeah.
again until like December, guys. It's like I want to say October 20th or something, whatever time, whatever that is. So, or maybe it's closer to the end of October, but we play them again real soon, and we play them down there. So
Yes, we do. But our fans travel. You
they
know
do.
that.
Oh, they certainly. That Tampa Bay game was the best. Oh boy.
I I read some kind of metric that said that the sales were tilted like 60-40, like Eagles fans too. I don't know how they track it, but we got the Eagles schedule up here.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I figured you were looking at the
October
schedule.
29th, so right before Halloween, we got the Redskins, and then we got the stretch. We got Dallas, KC, Buffalo, who was beat the last 3 opponents by over 28 points, just bludgeoning people after losing to the Jets of all, teams. San Fran, Dallas, Seattle had 11 sacks last night.
Yeah, Giants are a joke. Oh, my
Giants are a
God.
joke. My
Danny
God.
Diapers? He's terrible.
I mean, you want to look at a way to finish your season when you need a couple wins to, get up to the number 1 seed. You got the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants to finish it. My God. I mean, usually the last, couple games, and I know they're a division opponent, but, we're going to sweep them this year. And, I'd be disappointed if we lost any game on that final 3 stretch.
Hopefully it won't matter too much by then, but if it does, at least we'll know where we stand more frequently. Because I mean, if they'll be lucky if they get to 500, any of those teams this season.
Yeah,
there's no way they're going to get there. Not a chance.
No, definitely. But what are we doing? We're banking wins early.
Yes. Oh my God, yes, and especially knowing that they don't come easy. And first of all, they should have never gotten overtime, because I got to say that was the weakest taunting call I have ever seen.
Yeah, he kind of just put the ball down, maybe
right
too close to him.
Like right on his feet, dude. Like, what is that?
I mean, come on. What do you want me to do? I mean, if he would have spiked it like right between his legs and shit, all right, maybe that's a bit much. But
well, look at it this way, Foods. All right, AJ, he's got to pass, because last year he did do that against those 2 Steelers receivers where he pointed to the 2 guys. One,
right, but that was different. That
was deliberate.
That was
deliberate.
Yeah, what he did was definitely not. That was ticky-tacky for sure. And it came back. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if they didn't get those extra yards on that kickoff, for the Eagles having to start so far back, and them getting, decent field position at like the 36, 37-yard line, you run that back and do that 10 times, where they don't get the penalty. They don't get that 9 times out of 10, get that winning touchdown as time expires.
Yeah, and then they made Sam Howell look like the friggin' ghost of, Joe Theismann over here. I was like, holy moly, guys, it still got 5 sacks out of him. So, that was nice to see. But, he was dumping it off, 3rd and 6s. He was able to get it out fast. I mean, they had a good formula against the D early. I had to give it to them.
Yeah, they always have a good scheme against us, and it's usually keep the ball away from us and control the clock. But
I mean, we had a few injuries, so it definitely didn't help us. But I mean, watching finally our front 4 get home, or they're getting home with 5 maybe, because they were throwing. He was slinging that ball all over the place.
That's the formula. I mean, nothing frustrates pass rushers worse than every 30 seconds having to line up and just keep bashing your brains in for the quarterback to just throw it within like a second and a half, and you can't do anything but maybe get your hand up.
And that's what you're hoping for. Nice tip ball. And I mean, you saw a lot of that in the other games this weekend. I don't know how many other games you were able to watch, but
yeah, I caught a good bit.
Yeah, some crazy games. Miami took a beating after getting 70 points last week. I mean, Buffalo, it was like, oh shit, what am I watching? 1990 all over again?
Yeah, Buffalo for sure. We do have a signing. The Eagles have signed veteran cornerback Bradley Roby to help solidify the secondary a little bit until we get Sidney Brown back healthy, and we'll see what he's got left. But we need some bodies at this point, fellas.
Especially in the secondary. And it was crazy to see, like, blown coverage. And I got to say, even our offense has to get it together a little bit, because I love watching A.J. Brown shit all over Forbes. That was nice, and it was great. But I think I still saw 1 or 2 miscommunicated balls, and that stinking intentional grounding was the worst call I've ever seen. But
you want to talk about some bullshit?
Yeah, what was that?
He wasn't in danger of being set. He wasn't being dragged. Of course, he was under pressure, but he wasn't being like dragged to the ground and just threw it where nobody was. It was obviously a miscommunication. Nothing was there.
It was a deep ball, standard deep ball
He
pattern
just threw it
fly.
away. Nothing
Yeah.
was there, so he threw it away.
But that's all right because you got Jake the Snake Elliott, baby.
I'll tell you what, let's think about this for a second. I love talking about the game after the game, give it like 2, 3, 4 days and really start to go over things. And you start to think of different scenarios and, talk about how clutch Jake Elliott is. If he missed that field goal attempt, that would be starting them at the 44-yard line, which means they would only realistically need about 20 to 25 yards to get, a 50-plus yard field goal.
Yeah, Sly's a good kicker for them.
Sly is a good kicker. You feel pretty confident with him hitting 45 to, 50. So, it was just so huge and he just hits the most clutch kicks. Not only is he consistent, but he's just so clutch.
Mm-hmm. And you have to every now and then again suffer a missed extra point. But I'll tell you, it's worth it. At this point, it's worth it.
It is worth it. He's such a weapon too. He just puts up points in volume. If the Eagles can when the defense keeps the other team's offense off the field, and he can put up 12 points real quick too. With kicking the boots, and he's definitely in consideration through the first quarter of the season. He is definitely my first team All-Pro kicker for the NFL.
Two things about Jake from State Farm I really like. One, he's a great athlete, loves tennis, loves baseball, plays everything. And then number two, Foods, and I think that this might be like how cute, like cool as a cucumber Jake is. Like he will go headfirst into any situation, and he'll take. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't mind the pressure.
He loves the pressure.
Yeah, he loves it. He eats it up, and it's really good to have a kicker who's able to. I mean, we've had great kickers in the past, but like what he can do at the end of a half, let's say, especially this last game, he was able to get those last 3 points at the end of the half.
Yeah,
and that was
such momentum. That's momentum going into the half, and you get the ball back afterwards. You score a touchdown. I mean,
roll it, just keep rolling into the next quarter. So it was beautiful to see that. I mean, he's probably scored 30 points so far with all his kicks.
Suppose he misses that kick before halftime, and the mood's a little different in the locker room. They're kind of down, and suppose they go 3 and out that first series after, could have been a different second half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, yeah, great, props to Jake. He's clutch. I don't want to see too many overtime games this year, Foos. I think overtime is really unpredictable, so I want to kind of take these games in regulation if possible. But, if they have to do it again, at least they know they can.
Well, that's what I mean. They're earning their stripes in the regular season. Last season they just, but they had, by the time the second quarter came last season, every second quarter they were scoring 15, 20 points. And, the games were out of reach, and they just run the clock down in the third and fourth quarter. Maybe the team would get back in it a little bit, but it was pretty standard formula last season that we blew everybody out. And I think, we expected the exact same thing this season. And, year to year is just so different in the NFL with turnover. I know you have a lot of skill players that are the same, but it's just a different flow, another year of, game tape on you. I want to make a video on what a lot of people are talking about, Jalen Hurts, this season, playing a little bit differently, not being as reckless, obviously, going down way too easily. I want to do something on that because I think there's, an argument on both sides for that one.
Well, you just let me know, Foos. I'm down for a little docudrama.
Yeah, but through 4 games, you're banking the wins. You got that overtime experience now to where, when you get into the teeth of the schedule or the teeth,
It was against a division opponent. I know it's Washington, but
Yeah,
whatever. I'll
yeah,
take it.
yeah. That's always a scrappy game, and Sam Howell looked decent. He didn't look phenomenal, but he looked decent. He looks like he could maybe develop into something down there. But they're just a train wreck of an organization.
Yeah, it's eventually. I think it's going to come down to us and Dallas in this division. We got it. They lost to the Cardinals, but again, they're kicking the shit out of everyone. I beat the Patriots. They beat the fucking pants off of Belichick.
They're just the strangest team.
They
Honestly,
really are. It's hard to
really
get a
are.
read on them.
They'll come out and win the first 2-3 games, or win like 2-3 in a row by 30 points, and then they'll just play down to one of the worst teams in the league and just look like complete trash. And I don't understand the breakdown. And you got to think it's coaching. Honestly, they got a lot of Ferraris over there, and they're just not. I don't know what's going on. It seems, obviously I do know what's going on. Jerry Jones is unfit to be a general manager.
Now, do you think? All right, so the first game that we played Dallas against that's here. You got the schedule up, right?
Yeah, we got Dallas November 5th, week 1.
Outstanding.
So, how do you feel about 8-1 or 7-2 through those first? Actually, 7-1 or 6-2 through those first 8 games.
Yeah, I think those first 8 games, if we can get seven wins in there, I want to see 90%, 92%, because that meat of that schedule in the back end of November. I'm not going to say, watching the Chiefs and the Bills that they're unbeatable, like they're like undefeatable, but they're unbeatable. Like, we need to really concentrate on winning now, and obviously winning later. But like, I want to go into those games, with division wins. I want to go in that game with conference wins. So that's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking, surprisingly, I'm looking at that loss. Miami, I think at home, I'm feeling, pretty good on a Sunday night. Sure. But, I look to this game this week is just that trap game. That game where you're flying to the West Coast, you're jet lagged, it's a short week. It has all the components set up for a struggle and a tough matchup. And they have two of the most explosive wide receivers, Puka Nacua, who's come out of nowhere, and they get Cooper Kupp back.
So he's coming back, but he's also still ginger. And I'll tell you this, if you can get to Stafford, dude, if you can rattle his ass, they can break up some, really good routes early, so maybe a turnover here and there. I think that they can, put LA down early, because LA's, again, kind of like Washington. If don't let them hang around, try to put them, you know what I mean?
They got alligator blood.
They can't get rid of him.
Get rid of him.
And that's a 4:30 game, a 4:00 game, right, Foods?
Yeah, that is a 4:05 matchup.
Nice. So 4th and 26. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk about, who maybe playing the Braves. We'll be able to talk about a win out on the West Coast, and and then eventually 4th and 26. I believe the Flyer season starts this weekend. You got basketball, so it's a great time to be in the city. Great time to be a fan.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to have a lot more stuff we're going to be covering with all 4, sports going to be going on at the same time virtually in October here. So we look forward to all this, and we will be back with some coverage of Game 2, hopefully celebrating a victory and looking on to the Braves. So we'll be back shortly, and see you guys soon.
Peace.
Be safe driving home.
Yes.